We may or may not have mentioned this years ago in that phase of JK News where like Steve couldn't not talk about crypto in every video. But there's this dude who basically had a hard drive that had a bunch of Bitcoin specifically on it, and his roommate accidentally threw that hard drive away. Now the thing is, for a long time, it wasn't like a huge deal until Bitcoin's value soared through the roof. And I'm talking, this guy had, I think, something like 6,000 Bitcoin.
Oh, it was crazy. But I heard that they were like going through the landfill trying to find it.
No. So he was petitioning to try and go through the landfill, but the city kept denying him. To like, who's gonna let somebody just roam through? Like, that's a liability beyond measure. Like, you don't know what the hell's going on out there.
But it might be too late.
Well, the thing is, apparently, this is allegedly, they were able to track down which quadrant of the landfill.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt if they have like some kind of lead.
I don't know how they do that.
Top?
I don't know if it's that organized the way that landfills are like sectioned off by like date and or time at which like a truck might fill it. Because
also, what are the chances of finding?
Or what if you get there and they're like, yeah, it's in quadrant 2, the one with all the Western Digital hard drives, and they're exactly the same. There's like a million digital.
Yeah, but for 6,000 Bitcoins, you would sit there.
Yeah, but how do you know which one's yours? You gotta you gotta do data rescue for all of them.
That's true.
You know what? You know how much data rescue costs?
A lot.
I just did it recently on an old hard drive. That shit cost me $2,300.
What?
Real?
Data rescue, yeah.
What?
I had a broken hard drive from early 2000s that I wanted to fix. That was the cheapest option.
And you did it?
I got it done in Pasadena, yeah.
Dang, you are worth $19 million.
One of mine was like
No, because I was like,
$1,200.
I weighed it back and forth in my mind for years. I've had this hard drive forever, and I'm like, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. And then I started to think about it. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of stuff on there that's priceless.
There's the memories.
Yeah, memories. There's
All
a lot
the
of
old dick pics you sent.
all my old dick pics from when I was really small, and then there's a lot of like old music that I had made that I don't have anymore. A lot of songs that I made, like things that I just made creatively. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And I went over there and I was like, maybe it's gonna be $500. And the guy was like, okay, well here's option 1, the lowest one, $2,300.
And they can't even guarantee.
They can't, yeah. So what they do is they'll send you a list of the files that they can see that are fixable. Before they actually fix it, they're like, look at the list, and if this is the files that you want, I mean, we can't open them, but you know the file names at least. And I'm like, oh, I see it. These are all my old songs from here and here and here. These are old photos. And then I was like, yeah, let's just do it. And then they got 99.5%.
Whoa. What? Except for that one dick pic you sent.
Because the pixels were so small, he's like, I can't even get it out of there.
It's not even worth it.
It was such a...
$2,300.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So it's also based on speed. Let's say you're working on like a film and that happens on set with a hard drive and you need it the next day, it's like double the amount.
Wow.
It's a good business to get into.
It's a good business. But then also, those hard drives are kind of obsolete already, so there's less business every year, right?
True.
Because it's all flash now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's hard drive was thrown out 10 years ago, and apparently he had 8,000 Bitcoin on the hard drive.
Oh my god.
What is that right now?
Oh, dude. You think
do
he's
it.
friends with his roommate still?
No way.
No way.
Well, it didn't matter at that time. It was
Half
10
a
years
billion.
ago.
Yeah.
$500 million, dude.
Are there people hold resentment?
So that amount actually, it's like 495,314,800 is the lawsuit that he's gonna file towards the city for not letting him go into the landfill, and he's being backed by a team of wealthy investors for their piece of the pie on it.
That's an angle. That's an angle.
Wait a minute. Wow. 10 years ago.
He's been trying to look for it for a long time.
I think as every year goes by, he wants to look for it even harder.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But also, how can
wonder
you
why.
sue them for something that you can't fully prove is there?
That's true.
Because 10 years ago, they probably shipped that bitch out to the waters.
It's a fidget spinner by now.
Yeah. Just this one.
It's plastic.
Yeah, put that in the USB, see if it detects.
It's probably all rusted and
1,000 Bitcoin.
There's no way it's still even. Yeah. I have a hard drive that I asked someone to do that for, and just never followed through. I don't even know where he's at now.
Person? Like just a random guy?
Just a guy.
He does that on the side.
On the side? Don't you need like a dedicated lab with like radiation tools?
I don't know. He knows how to do it.
Maybe they just lied about how they do it. They're like, we just plugged it in.
Found it.
We sold this bonk.
I got the quote and I didn't pursue it because it was too expensive.
How much was the quote back then?
$600.
Mine was
Steal.
1,200 7 years ago.
1,207 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's really
What are you
expensive.
trying to
But
recover?
it's $600 like 2010.
You know they had to do that in China when they were doing Street Dance of China.
I did hear about something like that.
Yeah, the hard drive. They shot like a whole episode and they put on a hard drive and it got corrupted. And
Why?
They had to do data rescue
Yeah,
that night.
That's what happened to me. It got corrupted on a job, and we needed everything that was on that hard drive the next day at like 7 a.m. And it was like already 6 p.m. And all these places are closed too.
Well, how does it get
So
corrupted?
what happened?
We knew somebody who knew somebody, and it was like yeah.
It just sometimes that shit just be happening to drives.
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of companies that like they know it's an active problem and they're trying to like make drives better than that specific one.
How does it get corrupt?
Which drive was it?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
They just be taking too many bribes and shit?
No, they just be pulling it off the computer, huh? Yeah. Y'all be just.
There's really sometimes it's nobody's fault.
not.
It's just the drive
Yeah,
failed.
it's not-
Like it sucks.
Don't use external drives.
Like the guys that make Prism Lens Effects or Prism Lens Effects, you know that company? They made their own hard drive specifically for filmmaking.
Yeah.
That guarantees that won't happen.
Laser discs.
They
Yeah.
never go corrupt.
Burn your CD.
Just record over the old karaoke videos.
You only got
Yeah.
4 megabytes on there.
Or videotape. That doesn't get corrupt.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Pull the tape out.
It's like that doesn't get corrupt, but it comes out in 360p.
What if this was your hard drive? What lengths would you go to try to get it back?
Yep.
My hard drives?
What if this was you? You, Anthony Lee. This article is about you trying to get your hard drive.
That has 8,000 Bitcoin?
It has that
Yeah.
much in it. Yeah.
I would go through the wire to like also do what he's doing. Like even if there's no chance, this is what he's saying. He says it is what it is. I could spend the rest of my life working 9 to 5 and thinking about it every day. I might as well spend my time trying to recover this simple piece of metal.
It's a really good point.
If it's $500 million, we're not talking about like even 5 million. 5 million, and I'd still be like, I have 5 million somewhere.
Yeah. You're sneaking in at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He waits too long to do things legitimately. If you have that much fucking money,
But it wasn't that much money 10 years ago.
Right. So there was
Yeah,
an
but, like,
incentive then.
3-4 years into it, when you feel like, oh my god, I gotta do it now, right? You do your research, you find where the parcel is, you pay the people at the fucking trash yard because they're all mafia guys anyway. You're telling me these trash guys, junk guys aren't mafia related? You're gonna be like, dude, here, I'm gonna pay you and I'm gonna dig around this area.
What if part of the, I guess the scheme is that you want very few people to know exactly which quadrant it's at?
That's true.
Because what if the mafia guys go get it first?
And also, it's
don't know
easier
what
to
they're
say
looking
that
for.
in retrospect.
They're just gonna be like, look at this trash digger over here.
But if they watch you looking for it and you go, I found it, what's stopping them from whacking you in that moment?
Chop your body up and get it burnt. You know.
You just gotta be like, dude, the last memory of my grandma's on this CD.
The grandma
And then
memory, yeah.
mafia guys, they love grandmas because they're just like, oh yeah, my nana always made me spaghetti. Yeah.
It's off limits. Yeah.
Just speaking of mafia, you see that video of the dude bringing around in Italy a pizza with pineapple on it, and everyone tripping out.
Oh, that sounds crazy.
He's a mafia guy?
No, it's just one dude. Hey, I brought you pizza with pineapple on it. Are you fucking stupid? Why would you bring me this?
When people break the pasta when they, and then the guy, oh, what are you doing?
You think I'm stupid?
Hi.
I like pineapple.
Speaking of Bitcoin that inflates, did you ever see the story about that one hacker guy that stole like a ton of Bitcoin, and then when the government seized it years later, they seized the inflated amount, which sounds kind of fucked up.
That is kind of fucked up.
Yeah. So like even though when he stole it, it was worth a few thousand, by the time they caught him, it was several million, and they took several million worth.
Wait, so are you saying that he stole a few thousand and he sold it?
No, he had it on him for years.
Well, then that means he's not losing anything different from what he was holding. It's just the value was already inflated, so they're just taking the same amount. It's just a more inflated value.
But then doesn't that seem kind of sneaky for the government?
It seems practical for the government because the government's not gonna like, for example, the IRS. Why would they audit somebody who makes $50,000 a year, even if they're like fucking around? versus auditing somebody who makes 50 million a year.
Right,
They're
they get
gonna
more money.
from it.
Yeah.
So it sounds regular government.
Yeah, that's true.
shenanigans.
Yeah, that's regular government.
I mean, they'll still tax you for $50,000.
They'll tax you, but if you're fucking around, they're not gonna like put
No, they will.
energy and resources when they can get somebody with like.
No, they're stingy, bro. IRS, dog, California,
yeah,
they'll
you're
get
right.
you.
Hey, dude, honestly, they went
Oh,
after
yeah.
our employer Joe, and it's like we had to fucking.
Bro, they're still charging me fees for business on an LLC I closed 3 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. But you don't pay, right?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
But then they still, even though I call them like, hey, that's a closed LLC. Okay. They send me the same charge the next year.
That's so annoying.
They're just acting like I'm not saying
They're
it.
hoping you just pay it eventually.
Yeah, they're doing
you
that
forget.
thing. Like, let me just inconvenience you so you're just paying the stuff. Like,
Does it go up because?
yeah, it's going up like I didn't do nothing about it. Yeah, every year. Cali, dude. It's not even IRS, dude. It's California.
It's like how do you fix that if it's unfixable on the other end?
You can't. You just California's trying to get every penny they can get.
Record the conversation.
And just to spend it on the damn bums.
So what are you gonna do? Just never pay it?
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
dude.
I just have to every year. I just have to call and be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not an active business anymore.